Hello everyone, my name is Linda and I'm very excited to be here with you today. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt stuck or held back by beliefs or ideas that you didn't even know were there? Today I'm going to share with you how expanding your aperture through learning, unlearning, and relearning can break down those barriers and open us up to new possibilities. Just to give you a bit of background, I studied hospitality and event management in Switzerland, and that experience set me on a path of continuous learning. I later ventured into business where I saw the importance of expanding and adapting my skills. But the journey didn't end there. I took another leap into content creation where expanding my aperture or broadening my view became essential. In fact, it taught me not just to learn, but also to unlearn, to let go of outdated data, to make space for better ones. Today, I'm going to share with you my journey and explore how hitting breakpoints, those moments of feeling stuck or frustrated, often push us to grow if we're willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So let's start with what I mean by expanding your aperture. Think of the aperture in the camera. It controls how much light reaches the lens. And in doing so, it influences how much of the scene we capture. Just like the camera, our minds have apertures, which define the perspectives we hold, our knowledge and beliefs. Most of the time, we go through life with a pretty narrow aperture, focusing on what we already know, what we believe, and what we're comfortable with. Expanding your aperture means consciously and actively choosing to widen your understanding and taking in new perspectives. And here's the thing, it's not always comfortable, but when you hit those breakpoints, those are actually invitations to expand. These uncomfortable breakpoints often come very unexpectedly. They might look like a challenge you weren't ready for, a moment of failure, or the need to reevaluate everything we thought we knew. Today, I'd like to share how I've navigated through these breakpoints, through the stages of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Let's talk about learning. Learning is something we're conditioned to do from a very young age. It's a foundation of growth. But I don't mean just studying and memorizing facts. I'm talking about continuously choosing to widen your understanding, taking in new perspectives and skills, even if they don't immediately make sense or feel comfortable. When I went to Switzerland to study, I stepped into a completely new environment. I had to learn not only the curriculum, but also how to navigate through cultural differences and understand diverse perspectives. This experience taught me that learning goes beyond the classroom. It means adapting to unfamiliar situations, embrace different viewpoints, and pushing past initial discomfort. Unlearning is a very important thing in my journey. Many of us create limits without even realizing it. These limits often come with beliefs that we pick along the way, shaped by fear, societal expectations, and past experiences. Many of us don't realize that some of these beliefs are actually holding us back. For me, the biggest limit I created was around perfectionism. Ever since I was 16, I wanted to become a content creator. But back then, I thought I needed a professional camera, an ideal setup, the perfect look. I even believed that I needed to lose weight to be more appealing on camera. These beliefs kept me from taking the first step. It wasn't until I was 20 when I finally decided to start creating content. I had to unlearn those self-imposed limits and realized that the only thing I needed to begin was a willingness to show up. Unlearning is about acknowledging that some of the beliefs or habits aren't serving us anymore. Think of it like clearing space on your computer. If your computer, your hard drive is overloaded, you won't have space for new files. In the same way, clearing mental space is like unlearning. So we can make space for new ideas that serves us better. For me, it meant letting go of the idea that my content had to be perfect. And I realized that people connect with authenticity, not perfection. Another major barrier I had to unlearn was the fear of negative feedbacks. When I just started, I was terrified of criticism and would take every single comment personally. I'd feel crushed by one single negative comment, and it would stick with me far longer than any positive feedbacks. Then I realized something very important. Everyone has their own opinions, and not everyone is going to like you. And here's the mindset shift that really helped me. If a person giving feedback isn't living the life that I want, why should I give their opinion so much weight? This mindset shift helped me to filter advice and feedback, allowing me to focus on my own goal rather than getting caught up in opinions that might not align with my path. As a content creator, the main goal is not to be universally loved. It's to evoke emotions, whether positive or negative. Once I embraced this idea, I stopped fearing criticism and started creating with confidence. Now I see a negative comment as a sign that I'm doing something right, that I spark a reaction. This mindset shift allowed me to focus on creating content that resonated with people rather than worrying about perfection. One thing I love about my work is creating content with my husband, that in the beginning, if I didn't like one of his ideas or he didn't like mine, it would lead to arguments. Because when you're working with someone closely, creative differences are inevitable. I hold on to the idea that every piece of content had to align perfectly with my vision. But what's funny is that some of our most viral videos came from ideas that I wasn't convinced about, or vice versa. I had to unlearn the need for control and accepted that sometimes the best ideas come from most unexpected places. By letting go of perfectionism, I learned to embrace collaboration and trust the process. As content creators, burnout is something we all face. There are times when I felt stuck, uninspired, not knowing what to do next, or just feeling tired of creating the same content over and over again. In those moments, the antidote for burnout that I found is relearning. Relearning isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about finding fresh perspectives within what you already know. For me, this would mean trying a new video format, or experimenting a different theme, or even learning something outside of content creation that brings new inspiration. Unlearning is the process of letting go of what holds us back. And one of the most impactful things I had to unlearn was the definition of happiness. There was a time when I felt like I wasn't doing enough, even though I had a pretty good income. But social media made me feel like everyone else was living that perfect life and not me. And that made me feel very insecure. I had to unlearn the idea of happiness and learn to be happy and content with small things and appreciate what I have. I realized that happiness isn't something to chase in the next achievement. Once I embraced this idea, I could finally be happy with what I have in the present moment and found a deeper sense of contentment. Unlearning is about letting go of things that don't serve you anymore. And here's a step-by-step guide on how to unlearn effectively. First, you identify what you need to unlearn. Think of the habit or a belief that might limit your success or create stress. Maybe you believe you need to be perfect to succeed, or taking risks is unsafe. Now you acknowledge how it has affected you. Think of the impact that has made to your behaviors and decisions. This awareness reinforces why it's necessary to let it go. After you examine the origin, reflect on when and why this belief began. Was it shaped by societal expectation, past experiences, or maybe someone you trust taught you this? After you challenge the belief with new evidence, question its validity. Is this belief still true or useful in your current life? Find evidence that contradicts it. For example, if you believe you need to be perfect to succeed, try to find examples of people succeeding with authenticity, not perfection. Then you replace with a new belief. Form a positive belief that supports your growth. Instead of, I need to be perfect to succeed, try showing up authentically is more valuable than perfection. Test this new belief in small steps. If you want to unlearn the fear of imperfection, try to do something without overthinking every detail. And finally, practice letting go in real situations. Start acting in ways that align with your new belief. Don't be scared of mistakes because it's a part of the growth. Each time you act against your old belief, you weaken its hold and build confidence in your new one. Unlearning is about clearing out of what no longer serves you, creating space for new, empowering beliefs. By actively questioning, replacing, and practicing, you'll gradually reshape your mindset for growth and resilience. In life, in work, and in creativity, learning, unlearning, and relearning are keys to expand your aperture. These cycles help you to let go of things that no longer serves you, embrace new possibilities, and help you connect more deeply with ourselves and others. So I question each of you, think about your own life. What beliefs or habits might be holding you back? Where to expand? Where can you unlearn? Or how can you relearn in ways that support your growth? The next time you hit your break point, remember that it's not a wall but a doorway. Step through it with an open mind and see where the journey takes you. Thank you.